every single product that we look at, we could go ahead and look at the other things we've said about other products and kind of make the correlations to newer products as well. Okay, now first and foremost, what I'm seeing here, Matt, I want you to go ahead and add a few more actual category tabs to the top left here, just to go ahead and be more of a functional site. It'll look a lot better as well if you make this white instead of gray. You could also make this coloring in the logo black or gray, okay, which would be great. I like just to have this white. It makes it look more open, but add more actual tabs here, please. This is way too expensive for this particular product here. Okay, now with that being said as well, we've said this product was saturated several times throughout Platinum. It's always smart when you have a product, you could type in the name of the product into Platinum Club. And just like you could have done pre-in as well, when you type the name of the product in, you could see multiple different feedbacks for the same product, right? Which always do correlate. And this one is a bit saturated. So this one specifically, I wouldn't even say to showcase differentiation. I would simply just say, you know, move on to something else here. Okay, rather than the saturated product that we saw before that has some life left in it since it works pretty well, and you could go ahead and showcase differentiation. This product more so has more actual saturation with it. It's been around for too long. There's not really much differentiation as well. And there's just way too much competition in the marketplace. This is also priced way too high for this. So I would just really consider finding a more cost-effective cost and then having a higher perceived value price to go along with it if the product value meets. Okay, overall here as well, I'd want to make sure that your add to cart button says buy it now. Okay, I also want to make sure that you are having the trust badge a bit more green, okay, or not green, more clear, okay, rather than super blurry like this. You want to upload it as a large one, okay, which will be great. Very good. Okay, very good. And also, as you scroll down here, you have a video, which is fine. Okay, you also want to make sure that when you have media and videos like this, your spacing and congruency is even throughout the entirety of the time. As you can see here, there are lots of spacing, okay, and inconsistencies with the description and the imaging. There's a ton of images. Okay, I would really cut down the amount of images you use. That's going to go ahead and slow down your site page load time. I'd recommend you make that happen. Okay, you have good points here. Okay, now I want you to use Grammarly as well. I did go through here and we did have some minor grammar issues. For the most part, it's proper, but we did have some minor grammar issues. So downloading Grammarly will definitely serve to your purpose. Okay. Also, as you scroll down, we see that we have very, very small little blurbs of information. Okay. We want to be more thorough. I understand that you have a lot of them, but we want to be more thorough and structured with our feedback or typically with our, recommendations of why they should buy the product. Okay. You want to also expand on these benefits much more clearly. These points down here look a bit jumbled. You want to center align these. Okay. Since they're all pretty much like 1, 2, or 3 liners and short. Okay, you also want to go ahead and center align this and space this out more and eliminate this, okay, or make it bigger and make it buy it now or add a sticky buy it now button. I'd also recommend removing related items as this is going to serve as a funnel to get people to go off of your landing page. This would only be a good idea to have if you actually have consistency on this product, okay? So with that being said, Matt, that is specifically what I want you to do for this specific product, okay, and landing page moving forward. I don't want you to adjust this. I want you to simply scrap this, move on to something else, and take the actual adjustments that I mentioned here to heart and start making sure that every single landing page that you create moving forward accounts for these specific edits. Does that make sense? So first and foremost, Amazon is able to be very, very competitive with this because they're able to buy massive bulk of this, especially because it's a larger product. Take a look at the actual measurements and how much space it takes up. Okay, normal people drop shipping can't really go ahead and get the cost down on this because of how long and large it is. Bigger people like Amazon and people who have millions and millions are able to get it down because they could go ahead and store stock. Okay, for us, it might not be the best product to go ahead and start off with because it's automatically going to go ahead and be more expensive for us, which means we're automatically going to be ones, charging more, and it's going to be harder for us to convert. Also, this is very, very similar to other hammocks out there as well. Okay. There's a lot of other items like it. There's nothing different about this specific hammock compared to anything else out there at all, especially because I own it and I know that. Okay. So overall, you did really, really good with the actual rhetoric here as we went through this. One thing I do want to bring up is your actual spacing. So as you have really good consistency with your rhetoric, you want to go ahead and make sure this is spaced out more from this, and this is spaced out more from this, and the same thing for this and this. It should be spaced out all evenly, maybe 2 spacebar taps apart from each other. And look how this is more spaced than here. Okay, this needs to be spaced out more congruently as well. Okay, as well as this compared to here. All of these, everything needs to be spaced out much more. It looks great, but the spacing is not going to cut it. Okay, the spacing won't cut it. Okay, now also this should be center aligned and this should be in red down low. This is also a bit blurry. I'd recommend a better actual photo. Okay, overall, the spacing is the most important thing here. You obviously have a good aesthetic view of what this should be clearly by how you've written. Okay, but it needs to have the proper spacing there. This is also blurry as well. Like I mentioned, you should upload it as the largest file possible. Okay, making it so it's going to be actually more clear. And the pricing is just way too much for this. With an item like this, you need much more actual pictures. Okay, just because you should be showing it in multiple different scenarios. Okay, you have too many whites here. I need to see more actual aesthetics of it, which is nice. So first, you have, this, which as you can see, it's more clear than the last few we went through, but it's just a bit too small. So what I recommend you do here is possibly make your buy it now button a little bit larger and increasing this to be a little bit larger as well, just so this is possible to actually go ahead to read.
Okay.
Because I have like really amazing vision and I could easily read it, but like most people, probably won't have amazing vision. Okay, now this looks good as well. Love how the text looks here. Maybe make this a little bit smaller, Wendy. Okay, a little bit smaller, just so it kind of like stands out amongst the rest of the text you have here. Okay, overall, I love your logo as well. Everything looks fine up here to me. One thing I like as well is the consistency of your spacing. Okay, so consistency of spacing here. Okay, now one thing I do want to go ahead and bring up is your media to text spacing is for the most part on point, as you can see. One thing I do want to go ahead and bring up is that like your paragraphing is a bit close. Okay, it's good. It reads very well. You're a very good writer, Wendy, but I would like for these things to be a bit more segmented and just taken, further apart, just because when you have paragraphs like this that are a bit more wordy and have a bit more context to them, putting them closer together is going to overwhelm the person and make it so they don't read anything at all. They'll just scroll down. So if you could just separate these by maybe a whole nother space, that would be phenomenal. So they're clear, separated concepts. Does that make sense? And here, the spacing, great. We talked about it. This, okay, you see your title text here? This, I would recommend, instead of orange, I recommend making this like a red, okay? Or maybe like a bolded black with italics. Okay, I don't know. The orange is fine to me, but I think it would just pop out more with a red. So this should be a title. Okay, and this is going to be great for people to scroll through and just read the main benefits. Okay, and like all like the main points of where they want to go ahead and start reading from. So this needs to be separated even more so from this text as well, which is super, super important. Okay, overall, I love the images and the GIFs you have, guys. Please take notes of this. Notice how Wendy's GIFs don't look like they were made in 1920. Okay, they look like they're 2020 GIFs that are extremely clear. Okay, these are the type of GIFs that you guys want to use. Wendy, I need you really going more into how this can make you a better gamer, how this can make you more agile, how it can make you a better trader, how it can make you a better businessman, how it can make you quicker more. Okay, because the main thing here is not the colors. We don't care about the colors at all. We care about the way that this thing is structured. So we need to go 10 times deep. I wouldn't say 10, maybe a few times deeper into really driving the point home of making sure people know that when they're using this, they're going to be much more versatile and agile and quicker. Okay, which obviously you did touch on, but it needs to be more exaggerated throughout the description. Obviously, I like how, this is talking about, the arthritis portioning of it, making sure your hand doesn't hurt as much. I believe that a more convincing thing would having people, say, I'm performing at twice my speed, twice my level, and my, hand hurts less. At this point, maybe a testimonial focusing on performance rather than the hand not hurting. Okay, just because that's more, I feel like that would drive more people to buy this rather than people who have the pain in their hand. Okay, so that's one thing as well. Okay, and pretty much in your pitch, you could reiterate that same performance metric here as well. And again, as you go through here, just kind of reiterating. Remember, we talked about repetition in our video creation. You also have repetition over in your description as well. Reiterating that it's going to increase your performance and how it will increase your performance by giving you examples of people who have, by using the mouse, would be very, very smart as well. So I would say ideally in here, as well as your pitch, is where I really want you to be a bit more exaggerated about it. And then obviously just, pepper it on throughout the rest of through the rest of the description, because you do a good job in terms of your rhetoric. I just wanted to see more of that point evident throughout the rest of it as well. Does that make sense?